Here in a brand new radio studio. It's WJTL Studio B at Lancaster Bible College. I'm joined not only by Steve Taylor, like the star of tonight's concert, but also from some students. Aubree, Poole, and Derrick Bigley are here. They are both currently juniors in the communication major at Lancaster Bible College. So, Steve, what we thought would be like the most fun thing to do today is to have a student-led interview, brand new in the studio. I think it's a great way to break it in with some great questions. So we're going to turn things over first to Derrick to get things rolling. Sound good?
That sounds great.
All right.
My first question to both Derrick and Aubrey is, when you're in your communications classes, do they tell you it's okay to chew gum while you're on the air?
They generally discourage that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Kristi's chewing gum.
I know, I swallowed it.
You swallowed it? Okay, in medical class they tell you never swallow gum.
We had 30 seconds, I swallowed my gum, I got the faders ready, and we're rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some tricks.
It's
All
a
right.
secret.
Thanks. I gotta say, this is a beautiful studio. It's a beautiful new facility, and this studio totally has a new car smell.
It
Like a new
does.
studio smell.
It does.
Absolutely.
My headphones smell new. Beautiful new chair. I'm the first person to sit in this chair.
That's right.
It's a great honor
His
to be here.
fingerprints will be left on that chrome and leather chair for
Right.
weeks, I'm
Right.
sure.
Yep.
All right, Derrick, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Steve, for being here. So my first question for you is, when you spoke in chapel here at LBC a couple months ago, you told the story of how you and your team were finally able to turn Blue Like Jazz into a film after a very frustrating period of gathering support and raising funds. What was something that God taught you through that process, and how has it grown you as a professional?
Yes, well, actually, the thing I learned most through that process is to not let anything else become sort of an idol to the place where it has to get done. I think I've talked about that a little bit in chapel too, is that the project had become so important to me I couldn't imagine life without getting this finally done. And so that was the main thing that I learned, is don't ever let anything outside of God become that important in your life.
Yeah.
Steve, I wanted to ask you, as somebody who is prominent in the music industry and also in the film industry, and as a Christian, what do you believe is the role of Christians in art, and how can Christians develop a more prominent presence in the media?
Yeah, the first thing we have to do is make really good work, because when you do good work, people are actually care about what you're doing and are willing to listen to what you have to say. If we're not doing good work, it's hard to get a platform, at least certainly to be able to speak to the rest of society. We may be able to have a platform within Christian circles, but artists, first of all, and the rest of the world are judged by the work that they do. So I always stress, first of all, do good work. Second, realize that your work ethic is ultimately going to be more important even than your talent. And third, if we are students of the Bible and we study the Word, we don't have to create propaganda, because the truth of what we believe will come out naturally through what we write and what we create, because it's who we are.
That's a good point.
Throughout your career as an artist, it seems you've never been afraid to push the boundaries of what is generally accepted as normal, especially in Christian music. Have you received any resistance from the general Christian community because of your work, and how have you dealt with any criticism when it comes your way?
Well, when I first started doing this, a lot of the songs were satirical, and a lot of people were fine with that, but not everybody was fine with that. They thought it wasn't proper to make fun of things that I thought needed to be made fun of, certainly within the church. My feeling is that if we're not the ones who are pointing out where our Christianity is messing up, or then when the world points it out, it looks like we don't know, we don't care. So, but yeah, that's always been kind of a thing. But then, as far as weirdness goes, I thought when we were starting off at the time, it was a little left of center. But with Danielson, he performs inside a giant tree for the last tour that we went. So Daniel's way surpassed us in weirdness.
That's great.
And you've been since about 2010, I believe, the group Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil, the Danielson Foil. But previously to that, you had your own solo career. So one thing I was wondering is, what were some of the benefits and the challenges between having a solo career as an artist and having a group?
Yeah, well, when I started out, I was pretty, I wasn't very collaborative. So I would come into the studio with an idea of not only the songs finished, but I wanted them to sound like this, and I oftentimes would have demos so that even when I was working with producers, I was like, okay, this is what it's gonna sound like, and this is how we're gonna do this. And eventually you just realize that you don't necessarily get people's best work when you come in that way. Certainly being a democratic band, which was, the first time I did that was, oh man, like late 90s, or early 90s band called Chagall Guevara, and that was a full-on democracy, so nothing got done unless we all agreed on it. That was frustrating at times, but it helped me be a better collaborator. Then when I started working in movies, like that's probably the most collaborative medium I could possibly think of, and that's where you have to get everybody's best work, because if they feel like you don't appreciate them, you know, they just don't give you the best that they can give. So when we started this band, part of it was just wanting to hang out with my friends, and of course, you know, Peter Furler, I've worked with him for years at Newsboys. There was just no way that I was going to be the one to say, oh, it's going to be this way, you know. It's John Mark Painter's the best musician I've ever worked with. Jimmy Abeg's a fantastic guitar player, been friends for a long time, and now Daniel Smith is, you know, a real creator, a real innovator, you know, formed his band in art school. So it's just a lot more fun treating it as a collaboration and seeing what we come up with together.
Well, you're clearly a man of many talents, between songwriting and producing and performing. Could you choose a favorite? Is there anything that you like particularly more than others, and why?
You know, honestly, my greatest talent is, I don't talk about this a lot, but like parallel parking. I don't want to brag, but I'm not saying if there was an Olympics of parallel parking that I would get the gold, but I'm pretty sure I would medal. I'm pretty sure I'd bring home something for the U.S. So the other talent that I claim is I'm decent at writing lyrics. Everything else, I just feel like I'm still a student and still learning how to do this.
Right.
Right. It seemed appropriate that I should ask you for advice about music, but now I'm thinking I should take some pointers from you about parallel parking.
Well, I can do that too, yeah, because we've got a nice big open parking lot. And
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I would like to ask you, this kind of goes along with just the times and keeping up with the way that we communicate with each other. And obviously social media is huge nowadays, not only in the secular world, but it seems that the Christians are taking the opportunity and running with it in some spheres. So one thing I would like to know is how you thought that Christians should most effectively use social media, and if there were any ways throughout your career that you've seen the power of social media exhibited.
Well, it's funny you would ask that, because I'm not, I admire people that are good at social media. I personally find it exhausting, and I'm like that guy that only uses it when he's got stuff to promote about himself. So like I shouldn't even call it social media, because there's nothing social about the way I use it. But every once in a while, you know, I'll make a joke on social media or something, and you know, people seem to think it's funny, whatever, a little reaction. But I recently tweeted something that got a big reaction, and I wasn't quite expecting it. I was assuming I don't want to get controversial here or have to give this person equal time, but I tweeted something that I thought was self-evident. I said, if you're a Christian voting for Donald Trump, you've either lost your faith or lost your mind. And I thought, well, what's that? I mean, we can all agree on certain things, right? Yeah. And that's one of them. And you know, I'm not saying that every Christian who votes for Donald Trump is no longer a Christian. I just think, well, if you do that, then you've just at least temporarily lost your mind. So, but not everybody thought that was funny. And a few people evidently don't like hyperbole. And so that ended up being a very, you know, surprisingly controversial thing. So every once in a while, I guess, you know, I guess you can say something that gets a reaction, and that was it.
Steve Taylor's views do not necessarily
No, I
represent the
should say
views of the Lancaster Bible College or those in the studio.
So true.
Love it though.
But we're gonna assume they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
No comments.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, Aubrey and I are obviously communication majors and wanting to enter the world of media and arts in some sphere. what advice would you give to a student hoping to make it in the world of music or media in today's culture?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just work at being excellent in what you do, and you know, learn to collaborate, learn to work within the community that you've got, and inspire each other to good work. You know, it's the most helpful thing you can have at this point is people that will give you honest feedback and critique. And as you learn to do that, especially in an environment like Lancaster Bible College, I love working within a Christian community. You know, I'm actually teaching some classes in Nashville at a university down there, and I love that setting because when I'm working with students, they're there to learn and to hopefully get better. And so I think that's probably the big one is use your community, inspire each other to greatness.
Excellent questioning there from Derrick and Aubrey.
Yeah,
and
well
seriously, Steve, what pointers do you have for parallel parking? I mean, if we have a moment to learn from somebody who is great and medal worthy
Right.
in parallel parking, I think a lot of people struggle with that.
They do.
Do you have any pointers that you could give us?
First of all, be bold.
No, not in the city.
Right, a tiny tap is not the same as an accident.
They're called
So
bumpers for a
They're called
reason.
bumpers for a reason. So, and, you know, and eventually, I think it'll come to you. Yeah, but people, you
Wait,
know,
what will come to us?
people freak out when
Letters
they
from the insurance
approach-
companies
well,
and the-
yeah, you know, but I mean, that's why we have bumpers. And, you know, it's always you pull forward and then you just start pulling back, and at a certain point you crank the wheel and boom. I mean, one of my happiest moments is when it's just a single move, when I just back in and boom, there I am. So,
I like to find the ones where I can just pull in.
well, yeah, no, that's not even a sport to that.
Do you use your mirrors a lot, or you
Yeah, you know, you just gotta get a feel for it.
can't trust them?
I don't, in fact, I like to, sometimes I just do it, I just close my eyes.
A more organic approach.
Sure, it's
Very. Well, thank you very much, Steve Taylor. Again, doors are now open for tonight's concert. It starts at 7 o'clock. So we're gonna let Steve go and
Yes.
do, I assume, a
I should say we have a very special opening act, an unannounced opening act, and I promise it will be memorable if nothing else.
You don't wanna announce it
I
now?
can't say what it
You
is,
can't? Is it
but
you?
I can't say that either. I'm just saying that it will be memorable.
Well, now
So
you
be sure to
gotta
be there
come.
at 7 o'clock for the opening act.
All right, hey, how's that for a cliffhanger? For Steve Taylor, for Derrick Bigley, and Aubrey Poole, we're here in Lancaster Bible College at Studio B. And Terry, I'm gonna send things back to you.